Storytime is brought to you by the parents and kids of Aretas Cross Freedom School, founded by Reverend Dr. Heber Brown III. It's recorded in Baltimore, Maryland in the year 2020 and was inspired by LeVar Burton's Reading Rainbow.
Yo, what's good? It's Storytime, Dr. Connolly. A reading show that takes you on an odyssey. School is out, it's best that you probably get your boredom, suppress it, your personal professor. Get together, be ready for whatever. Books and treasure from B-Mall to bless ya. It's story time!
Hello kids. Welcome to Storytime with Dr. Connolly, your personal professor. This week we're reading a story that recounts a pretty heroic example of someone who understands science and the value of community. It's a story that's set in East Africa, in a nation called Kenya, and among the Kikuyu people. And it's a story about a very courageous woman who starts at a very small scale and changes her entire nation. The story is called Mama Miti, and it's about the heroic efforts of Wangari Maathai, a scientist who, through the benefit of plants and herbs and understanding the connection between people and the world, takes one small step at a time to answer individual needs and then really the collective needs of her entire country. Let's take a listen. Mama Miti, Wangari Maathai and the Trees of Kenya. Written by Donna Jo Napoli. Illustrated by Kadir Nelson. On the highlands of Africa, near forests and plains, in a huge salt lick, Wangari was born. The face of Mount Kenya smiled down on her. People told stories of how in the old days, sometimes the sun shone too bright, too long, and droughts came. Creatures suffered, plants wilted, people fought. So the men held ceremonies under the mugumu, the spreading sacred fig tree, and the skies blessed them with shimmering rains to slake their thirst and water their farms. Village elders placed staffs from the figi tree between angry men, and enemies became friends. Wangari listened to these stories. That's how she came to love and respect trees. That's how she came to be wise in the tradition of her family and village, of her country and continent. When Wangari grew up, she worked in the city, but she always remembered her roots. She planted trees in her backyard and sat under them to refresh her body and spirit. One day, a poor woman came from the Western Valley to seek the wise Wangari. Her children peeked out from behind her at the smiling woman in bright blue cloth with squiggles all through it, like tadpoles squirming in a pool. "I have too little food to feed my family," said the poor woman. "There is no longer a job for me in the timber mill, and I have no other skills. What can I do?" Wangari took the woman's hands and turned them over. She took the children's hands, one by one. "These are strong hands. Here are seedlings of the mibudu tree. Plant them. Plant as many as you can. Eat the berries. Fayu Nyumba, peace, my people." The woman and her children returned home and planted trees with their strong hands, one by one. In the years to come, when flowering season was over, the family ate the shiny, round fruits. They shared with their neighbors who carried home the seeds, planted them, and grew their own mibiru trees. Another woman came to the wise Wangari, as poor as the first. This one traveled from the mountains in the south. Her daughters stood beside her, thin as ropes. "My daughters and I walk hours every day to find firewood to cook with," said the poor woman. "It takes so long, we have no time for anything else. What can I do?" Wangari took the woman by the arms. "These arms are strong," she said. "Plant a tree. Here are seedlings of the mikunduri. This tree makes good firewood. Plant as many as you can. Thayo Nyumba, peace, my people." The woman and her daughters planted those seedlings. In time, the trees grew huge with many wide branches. The woman and her daughters cut branches for warmth. They shared new seedlings with their neighbors, who carried them home and grew their own mikunduri trees. Word passed from woman to woman until all over Kenya, women knew about the wise Wangari. They came to her from every direction, one after another, as the years went by. "Our goats are starving," said a woman from near the northern desert. "I have barely enough food to feed my family. How can my husband feed the animals too?" "Plant a tree, Amiherigendi. The leaves are good animal fodder. Plant as many as you can. Thayu Nyumba, peace, my people." "My cows are sick," said another from the savannah. "I have no money to buy medicine for them." "Plant a tree, Amuthakwa Wa'afi. The leaves cure gall sickness in cattle. Thayu Nyumba, peace, my people." "Wild animals come in the night and steal my chickens," said a woman from a fishing village. She shook her head in worry. "Plant a tree, a mukawa. Its thorns will keep out predators. Thayu Nyumba, peace, my people." "My home fell apart," came the cry of another woman who had come all the way from the coast. "We have no shelter." "Plant a tree, a muluhakua. The timber makes good building poles. Thayu Nyumba, peace, my people." Wangari told women to plant murigono, whose branches make good stakes for training yam vines. She told them to plant muhuti as a living fence around their animal yards. She told them to plant wigoya, whose leaves could be wrapped around bananas to ripen them. She told them to plant moringa for the pure joy of their white flowers. And when a woman from her own village came, lamenting that the water in her stream was too dirty to drink, Wangari told her to plant mukuyu, the giant sacred fig, the drinker of water, which acts as nature's filter to clean streams. Thayu Nyumba, peace, my people. Soon, clear waters teemed with black wriggling tadpoles, like the ones on Wangari's clothes, like the ones Wangari marveled at in the waters when she was small, when Kenya was covered with trees and animals, when people lived in peace with nature. All over the countryside, the trees that had disappeared came back. Nairobi, the capital city, had been known as Kinwini, the place where there are many munu trees. Now it was Kinwini again. Kenya was strong once more, strong and peaceful. Wangari changed a country, tree by tree. She taught her people the ancient wisdom of peace with nature. And now she is teaching the rest of the world. She is known these days as Mama Miti, the mother of trees, a green belt of peace started with one good woman offering something we all can do. Plant a tree. Tayo Nyumba. Peace, my people.
Hi, my name is Clark Conley, and I have a few questions to ask you about the book Mama Miti. Have you ever tried to plant a tree before? I have. Unfortunately, it died, but I do try to plant new trees every now and then. The other question I was going to ask you is, what problems do you think can be solved by planting trees? One problem that I think can be solved by planting trees is if you don't have any food. You can grow a fruit tree of some kind, and you can have fruit or a food source. Thank you, and thanks for watching. Toodles! Oh snap! Where's Kenya?
Kenya serves as home to some 50 million people and nearly 70 languages. Kenya has also been one of the world's most important sources of environmental and political activism. In the last 100 years alone, the Kenyan people have inspired worldwide fights against colonialism on behalf of women's rights and in defense of the planet itself. Kenya also boasts a rich history of excellence in music, athletics, politics, and applied science. Trained as a biologist and veterinarian, Dr. Wangari Maathai married local knowledge with a practiced scientific method. She recognized how tree planting could advance the efforts of Kenyan women hoping to overcome challenges of work, health, and preserving their families. She understood poverty as a consequence of colonialism, sexism, and deforestation, and these required, in her mind, a shared response. In 1977, Maathai established the Green Belt movement, which paid women to plant trees. The movement also helped roll back the problems of land grabbing, soil erosion, drought, and sustainable energy. Maathai saw the planting of trees as a path to communal wealth and a means for women to overcome political and economic barriers. And thanks to her and countless dedicated Kenyan organizers, trees help bear the fruits of freedom. Freer women make for stronger communities and a more resilient world. In recognition of her extraordinary contributions, Dr. Maathai won the Nobel Prize in 2004, becoming the first African woman to receive the honor. She had also been the first woman to receive a PhD in Kenya and the first woman to become a tenured professor in that country. But without question, Dr. Maathai's most important trailblazing came in the area of human rights, where she helped change a people, a nation, and a world, one small seed at a time. Thank you, Dr. Maathai.